Well, by profession, I'm a pastry person. I went to the Culinary Institute of America and I worked in restaurants, and I wanted to be in a place where my children would be able to see me anytime they wanted to, instead of coming into a restaurant. And I wanted to have some control over my fate. Being in charge is a good thing, and that was the big reason that I made the change. That and really wanting to express myself with food and my ideas. When I was a kid, and I lived near here in Arlington, but not in Alexandria, this was a railroad town. Delray was a town where the railroad workers lived, so it was a very modest town with lots of cute little houses that the railroad workers worked in. And when I was a kid, the largest railroad switching yard east of Chicago was just right over a few miles from here, right off of Delray. And at night, they would switch trains all night long, and you could hear them squeal and then crash into each other, coupling and uncoupling, you might say, all night long. And it was a very soothing sound to fall asleep to. I found it. It was that soothing, kind of like the falling asleep to baseball on the radio sound. And I do miss it. And it makes me sad when I run into people who don't realize that that shopping area over there was a big train yard. When I was a kid, I used to come to this very store, and it was an old school ladies' clothing shop called the Scott Shop. And we had 4 daughters in our family, and my mother sewed most of our clothes, but that was a lot of buttonholes for blouses. And so we were allowed to come here sometimes and buy blouses, and it was a big, exciting deal. And I remember coming here, and it was kind of a big deal for us to come here. So I feel like I'm the keeper of this spot because I remember the Scott Shop. And so very few people who come in remember the Scott Shop, but I feel a little bit okay about having this location since I remember what it used to be back in the 60s. I think they closed in the 70s, perhaps. Here at the Dairy Godmother, I'm a big dog fan. I have dogs myself, and I was concerned that people were going to give them their frozen custard, and that might not be the best thing for dogs. So we started making right away when we opened a frozen dog treat that would be better digested by dogs, and that became a really important part of what we do here, because people can sit outside with their dog and they can share something together. A lot of people walk their dogs down here, and that way they can each get a frozen treat and sit outside and eat it, and the dog owners talk to each other and the little children come around. My children went to T.C. Williams, which is Alexandria's only public high school. It was a great experience, and I became a huge I'm going to say supporter and lover of the football team and the marching band, both of which my children were in. And I still go to the T.C. Williams football games, and I still support the band and the football team. And the coach comes in to say hi to me, and it makes it a very homey and comfortable place to have a lot of connections in that way. Do 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 do. Dear, that's crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
And she was trying
Cone, sure. Sure.
It's gonna be great B-roll though.
Can I get some Bev Naps, Gilma, please? Chocolate cone. There you go. What else for you? Who has not ordered yet? You have, guys?
May I try the maple walnut?
Sure. And what else, guys? Your maple walnut.
Vanilla cup.
Thank you, sister.
Okay, so you can only have one flavor in a kid size cone. Vanilla or chocolate. Or maple walnut or
Just a kitty
Okay, for her the
yeah. Ice cream doesn't have to have any egg in it, but if you designate a certain amount of egg in it, which actually anything that's called custard implies that there's egg in it, like cooked custard, custard filling, that word, when you hear that word custard, that's an implication that there's egg in your product, in a good way, right? So frozen custard has those specifications. Ice cream has a specification where it's 10% butterfat. It can have eggs in it, but it doesn't have to, right? And even sherbet has specifications. Low fat, I think they used to call it ice milk. Gilma's making cookies, and we're gonna make the cookies into frozen custard sandwiches. So those are oatmeal cookies. She'll be putting the cinnamon oatmeal cookie custard in between the sandwiches, and we'll serve them tomorrow. Right, Gilma?
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the oven. I'm going to take these out. These are probably ready, Gilma. I know you're doing something else. This is going to be what we call the treat of the day, which is strawberry rhubarb. In this case, it's going to be strawberry rhubarb cobbler. So we gave that a little bit of a head start before we put the cobbler topping on it. We make treats that are delicious with frozen custard. We don't, anything that's good with custard on it might become a treat of the day. Sticky toffee pudding, crisps, cobblers, old-fashioned chocolate pudding cake like my mom used to make, strawberry shortcake, there you go, from the Peanut Gallery, strawberry shortcake. It's Monday, so we only have a couple, but on the weekend we have more like, 4 or 5 because it's a lot busier for us on the weekend. Here.